Okay, so welcome to yoga. Today we're going to be focusing on a practice that is good for athletes. So what I typically see with a lot of athletes that I work with is a lot of struggle in the pelvis. And you know, your pelvis and your shoulder girdle is connected. So if you're tight in one area, typically it's going to impact the other areas. So we want to make sure that we are keeping range of motion going. So if you have a limited range of motion because you're just tight and stiff, it's something to consider that you want to make sure that you're increasing range of motion. So we're going to be doing a practice today that helps that. We are going to have a little bit of a warm up, and then we're going to move into that. All right. And then we're going to end class today with a meditation. Okay. So let's get started. So coming to the top of your mat, we're going to do some sun salutations to warm up. So the hands are going to come right to your heart. Bring your feet together. And we'll start out with a little bit of a warm up. So you'll bend your knees. Inhale, reach. And then exhale, come back down. And this, what it does is it just starts to help bring movement into the knees, into the back, down and up. Now, when you lift up, make sure that you are drawing the navel in, and you want to add a bit of a back bend. So open the chest and open the chest. One more. Open the chest. Good. And we're going to hold it in chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale up and then hold it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to actually rotate to the side. So you rotate to the side and then you come up and rotate to the other side. And then you come up. It's essentially the same move, but now we add rotation. Good. Good. And one more set. Going to the right, coming up, going to the left, coming up. And then we're going to go to the right and hold. And you actually keep your hand on the sacrum and you rotate, look behind you. Now you can deepen this pose by dropping down onto the elbow. And then your hands come together. You do have to watch out for the knees. Typically what happens is when you go to the side, one knee wants to jet in front. So if you're rotating to the right, the left knee wants to move forward. You have to keep those knees together and lean back. Keep the knees bent. Draw your navel in. And then inhale up. And then we go to the other side. And again, you rotate, hand at the sacrum. Or you can go deeper, hook that left or right elbow to the left knee, hands come together, go deeper. Push and lean back. Watch that right knee. Don't let it jet forward. And then inhale up. Good. And exhale all the way down. And do it again. Inhale up. Again, you're adding a bit of a back bend. Draw your navel in. Exhale down. Forward fold. Relax your head. Inhale up. Two more. Exhale. Inhale. Good. Exhale, we're going to hold it here and take the arms up behind us, interlace your fingers and lift the arms up off the back. Now, if you are not able to interlace your fingers, you're going to use a strap or a tie or a belt, and you hold it behind you, and then you lift. You lift, holding onto that strap. Hi. Oh, are you coming over to help? Okay, so if you cannot interlace, you just use a strap or a belt. Easy peasy. Keep relaxing your head. This posture opens up the shoulders and the upper back. Really good. And then release. Inhale, come all the way up. Good. Exhale all the way down. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And step back, right leg lunge. So we're going into a lunge, and then we're going to drop the back knee. Make sure that the foot in front is right underneath that knee. Okay, and then we are going to reach back and then shift forward. So you just go back and forward. When we take our time, we're moving through range of motion. We're trying to introduce the stretch to the body, and it's so much easier to do a little movement and help that body understand where we're going. And then you go forward and hold. Hold it there. Good. Now, if you need to, if you can't get your hands to the ground very easily, then you can grab a couple blocks. Use a block. And you just come up on the block. Keep drawing your navel in and shift your hips forward, tailbone tucks. Good, and then from there, we move that block out of the way. We're gonna step back into down dog. So you curl your toes under on the right foot and step your left leg back, down dog. Now you can walk out those heels, walk them out, kind of introduce movement into the ankle and the knees, and then draw both heels down. And then we want to get hollow in the belly. That means that you're going to draw the belly button in towards the spine and then lift it up into the ribs. Push your organs to the side. Open up your armpits. Adho Mukha Savasana, that's the name of this pose. Good, and then we drop down onto your knees. Keeping the toes curled under, release back. So the forehead goes down. Now watch, we're gonna do a little add-on here. You're gonna lift up, reach your right hand back, and it goes to your sacrum or to the back of your right hamstring or to your heel. And then you're opening up. And then release, both hands come down. Shifting into plank. You can modify to the knees if you need to. Lower. Roll your shoulders back, keep your elbows pressed into your side and lift up. Now keep your shoulders down, pelvis on the ground, draw your navel in. Relax your face and relax your glutes. Then pressing back, down dog. Draw the navel in, get hollow in your belly. Then drop down onto your knees again. We're going to shift our weight back and lift up. And now the left arm comes up, goes back behind you. You're either going to go to the sacrum, the hamstring, or your heel. And then lift. Look over that left shoulder. And then release forward again. And you shift right into plank. Lower. Lift up cobra. Relax your glutes, drop your shoulders. Press back, down dog, Adho Mukha Savasana. Step forward, right leg. Going into a lunge, drop your back knee. And again, we introduce movement into this pose. Shift back, and then shift forward. And shift back, and forward. And back, and forward. And back and forward. Couple more. And forward. One more. Back and forward. And then hold. Remember to watch the foot in the front. Make sure that it's lined up. with the knee, okay? Bring your hands to the inside. And if you want, you can use a block. Keep dropping your pelvis forward. Everybody draw your navel in. Yeah, good. Awesome. And then from there, release. Hands go on either side of that right foot. Curl your toes under. Lift your back leg. You're in that lunge. And then step forward. Inhale, you're going to lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Relax your head. Inhale, up. And then the hands come to the heart. Okay, so we're going to do that again. Inhale. A little bit quicker. Exhale down. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Step back, right leg lunge. Drop the knee. And we're going to hold it here, or the hands lift up. Both hands, or you can do one hand. One hand on the thigh, the other arm reaches. Release, step back, down dog. Adho Mukha Savasana, navel in, open up the armpits. Drop down onto your knees and reach up, back, open. Remember, your hand can go to the sacrum or the hamstring. Look over the right shoulder. Keep pushing your hips forward. And then release. Coming into plank, lower, lift, relax your glutes. Pelvis is on the floor, navel in, relax your face. Back, down dog. Drop down onto your knees and lift, reach back, left arm to the sacrum, to the hamstring, or to the heel. Look over the left shoulder. Push your hip forward. And then release. And again, coming into plank, lower, lift, Bhujanasana, press back, Adho Mukha Savasana, down dog. Step your right leg forward. You're in that lunge, drop the back knee. Hold, and so you can then lift up both arms or one arm. So one hand can be on the thigh, the other one reaches, or both up. And then release and curl your toes under on the back leg, step it in, go into an extension and fold. Inhale up. Good. Exhale down. Inhale up again, we're moving on. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extension. And now we're going to step back into plank and lower. Lift up cobra. And then press back, down dog. Step forward, right leg, and we're going into what's called Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Warrior 1, your hips are even. Right hips back, left hips forward, back heels down, and you reach up. Okay, there is a back bend in this. Open the chest, take the arms to the ears or behind the ears. Then bend into the front knee, keep your back heel down. Interlace your fingers behind you, open the chest, drop to the inside. You're either resting your torso on top of the thigh and dropping the head, or you're going to the inside. Keep lifting your arms up. And again, if you're not able to lift your arms, you then reach for your strap and you hold the strap. Lift. And then release. Step back, plank, lower, lift, back, down dog. Step the left leg forward, warrior 1, come up, reach. Virabhadrasana 1. Now your left hip moves back, your right hip moves forward, navel in, tailbone down. Open the heart, take your arms to the ears or behind. You can have open arms or you can come into hands together. It's called steeple mudra. Steeple mudra, pointer fingers are together. You cross your thumbs and you drop your fingers. Good, and then we release, interlace behind us, open that chest. Drop to the thigh, to the inside, lift those arms up off the back. Relax your head. And then releasing, step back plank, lower, lift, down dog. Good, stepping your right leg forward and we go now into warrior two. So warrior two is totally different, hip position. Now you open up, your hips face the side and you open. Look down the middle right finger. You have to watch this knee in the front, keep opening it up. The tendency is for it to drop to the left. You want to keep moving it to the right. Draw your navel in, look down the middle right finger. Then reach, deepen, deepen, deepen. Straighten the leg. So your right leg straightens, pull your back leg in. Then you drop into Trikonasana, triangle pose. You can use a block, or your hand can go on the baby toe side of the foot to the floor, and you open up. Both legs straight, lift your kneecaps, engage your quadriceps, and then lean back. Get that torso lined up with the right leg. The tendency in this pose is for people to lean the body forward. No, you got to lean back. You got to line up the torso with that right leg. Okay, and you know you're doing it because you start feeling like, whoa, I'm having to work my balance. Good. Swing the arm around and step back into plank, lower, lift up Bhujanasana, take it back, Adho Mukha Savasana. And now we step forward with the left leg. So same thing, you want to open up those hips. Okay, I'm going to turn this way so it all looks like we're on the same leg. You have to move now the knee to the left side. The tendency is for it to drop to the right. Keep opening it up. Look down that middle left finger. Virabhadrasana 2, warrior 2. Keep drawing your navel in, lifting it up, tailbone neutral, points down. Turn the palm on that left hand, reach. Open up the side body. Then we straighten that left leg, pull the back leg in a little bit, both legs straight, and then lower. Your hand can go to the shin, or again, you could take a block, baby toe side of the foot, or your hand can drop down. And we lean back. We lean back, not dropping forward. That's the tendency. You want to lean back. So it's actually better to come a little bit higher so your torso can lean back. Even out your breath. Soften your face. Swing the arm around. Step back into plank. Lower. Lift. And press back. Adho Mukha Savasana, down dog. Hold it there. Draw your navel in. Resting pose, you're going to go into child's pose. So bring your big toes together, open up your knees, and then drop down. So when you're doing yoga, it doesn't matter if it's my class or somebody else's class. If you ever need to take a break, then you rest in child's pose. And you always want to remember that it's your practice and you need to listen to your body. That teacher or instructor is just a guide. Right? That's who they are. They're a guide. It is ultimately your practice and you need to listen. It's about connecting within yourself. All right. So we are going to go into pigeon, which is going to open up the rotators and the hip. This is a really important area, especially for athletes, people who hike, people who run, athletes, because this gets super tight. And then what happens is we have no movement in the pelvis. None. We can't rotate, can't do anything. It gets super stiff. Floor of the pelvis also gets tight. And that causes a whole nother set of issues. So we're going to start with pigeon. So you're going to come up into down dog, step your right leg forward. You're going into a high lunge. Okay. Then drop the back knee. So now at this point, you might need some assistance with where we're going to end up going. Assistance means that you're either going to use or you're going to use a blanket, or you're going to take a block and fold it in your blanket like this. Okay. And what that does is it creates like this lifted bolster kind of thing. Okay. So your right leg's forward. Just going to move that right underneath the right glutes. Okay. But I'm not down on the glutes yet. Right? Watch out, Marvy. My dog's in the way. Okay, so then you're going to take your right foot, which is on the right edge of your mat, and walk it over to the left edge. Let me move my dog so you can see. Over here. Thank you. Go with Kellen. Okay. All right, so you walk that foot to the left edge and then drop your butt down. Now, if you're super, super tight, you might have to take another block and put it here. You just do your best. So you're walking that left foot over to the left edge, and then one hand goes to the right knee, the other hand goes to the foot. And this is what it looks like. It looks like I'm reversed, but I'm actually in the same foot. The camera just rotates me. Okay, so you're up on a bolster or on a block or on a blanket, one hand on the knee, the other hand here, press down. Okay, press. Now you want the heel eventually to be lined up with the knee. Okay, and one of the things that you could do to help yourself is to walk the back leg further back. So if you've got the ability to do that, then go for it. This can be very painful for a lot of people in the rotators if you're super tight. Ease yourself into it. Keep the heel a little closer to the groin, but eventually you move it away from the groin. Keep pressing down on the knee, and eventually you'll be able to eliminate all of those bolsters, blocks, blankets. Your left hip is down. Keep pushing your left hip down, and then see if you can drop down onto your elbows. And if you're not able to, then you can use a block, or if you have a bolster, you can use a bolster, or you can just stay lifted. Big pose. Okay. Or you could still use assistance. Okay. Soften your face. So one of the things that happens is it forces us into our body. And you want to start becoming comfortable with that. And if you're not comfortable with that, that's okay. You become the witness of the fact that you're not comfortable with it. We start developing what's called the observer and the witness. We watch the breath. We watch the body. We start to help that body where it's really tight, and instead of resisting, you want to move your breath and deepen it. Move your breath into that area. Try to breathe into that area. Good. And from there, we're going to come onto the hands and step back. You're in down dog. And now stepping the left leg forward, we're going to do the same thing. So you're stepping into a high lunge and you're going to grab block, bolster, blanket, whatever you have, whatever you need. Good. And then you drop the back knee, walk that left foot that's on the left edge of your mat over to the right edge, and then lower it. Good. Now, if you're on a block or a blanket, you're going to hold it there. One hand on the knee, the other hand on the foot. And we're breathing into that hip. We're breathing into the pelvis. And you can walk that extended leg further back by curling your toes under and move the knee further away. Soften your face. Drop into your breath. Be the observer. And then drop down onto your elbows if you can. Really working to try to keep the right hip on. Flatten it out. Keep being the observer, softening the breath. Good. And then from there, we're going to actually take our weight onto the left glute. So if you're on a block or a bolster or a blanket, you have to pull that out and then lean over and swing your back leg around. Okay. So now we're going to come forward. And at this point, you're going to use a blanket, roll it in thirds, take it behind you, and sit up on it. Okay? Sit up on it. So you want to sit so that your sit bones go right onto the edge and you're literally right on the edge and you're kind of leaning forward. And what it's doing is it's causing that pubic bone to tilt forward. The tailbone is moving back and the other side is tilting forward. If you cannot do that, you need to bend your knees a little bit so that the pelvis can then tilt forward. So you bend your knees, and what that does is it allows you to tilt the pelvis forward, and you come to the inside. Now, if you could do it with straight legs, with the pelvis tilting forward, great, do it. If you can't, and your pelvis isn't able to do that, it means that we're still working on your hamstring and back flexibility, okay? So you're here, and see if you can drop onto your elbows. All right, now, if you're that flexible, then see if you can start to straighten your legs. Yeah. Good. All right, then we come up. You're going to pull your right heel in to the groin, and then your left leg is going to go over. Now, the heel actually goes to the hip, sorry. And then sit up really tall and rotate, looking behind you to the left. Good, and then going forward. Now, this foot that's on the floor is going to come up between the heel and the ankle. Listen to this. There is a space right there between the heel and the ankle, and that goes right below the knee. So here's your knee. It goes right here. Okay? It goes right there. Now, if you're a little more flexible, you can move that bottom heel out a little bit, eventually all the way to the knee. If this is really painful for you, then you're going to stay right here and you're going to focus on softening your breath. If you can do a little bit more without changing this heel, it stays way out here by the knee, then you drop forward. You start moving that knee that pops up, start moving it down. This is called double pigeon. And eventually that bottom heel moves out. And again, eventually you don't even sit on a blanket anymore. Soften your face. So relax your breath as much as you can. If you have to stay up, that's fine. Breathe into your hips, breathe into your pelvis. Good, and then release. And we're gonna do the other side. So now you're pulling your left heel over, your right leg goes across, the left heel goes out to the hip. Both sit bones down. You're gonna stay up on that blanket if you need to. Lift up really tall so the spine lifts, and then twist. Looking over that right shoulder, keep rotating by drawing the navel in. Good, and then lifting up. Okay, so we're coming back into that same posture on the other side. Identify where the ankle is and the heel, and that comes up right below the knee. Okay, bottom heel can come out a little bit, and then you hold it. Breathe. You have to watch out for this. Okay, do you guys see what's going on here? My foot is completely off of my thigh. Nope, that's not right. You want to move it back. Okay, you are keeping your foot right on top of that thigh. Good, and then see if you can drop down. And relax, soften your breath. This is great for athletes. It opens up the glutes, the rotators. It helps release the piriformis. The piriformis is that muscle that presses on the sciatic nerve and oftentimes can cause some sciatica issues. One cause, there's other causes. If we can open up the pelvis and release the pelvis, we will help our hamstrings. Good. All right, and then from there, we're releasing. Okay, you need a belt or a strap, and if you don't have one, that's okay, but this is the next pose. You're gonna go onto your back, take that strap around the right foot and lift it up. The left foot stays extended, and you're pulling the leg in. Okay, so this is for your hamstring, pulling the leg in. And what this does is it kind of allows you to focus more on a hamstring stretch and not involve the back. So if you bring the strap right to the toes and kind of force the toes down a little bit into a flex, that'll give you a more intense stretch in the back of the leg. Okay? Good, same leg, you're gonna bend the knee, and with the left hand, grab the foot so that the fingers wrap around where the baby toe is. And then you're gonna pull that foot in towards your chest as much as you can. Then your other leg comes up. All right, and then I'm bringing my heel and my ankle, that space in between, right below my knee. Then take your right hand, thread it through your two legs, interlace your fingers at the hamstring, drop your heel. Now keep drawing the left knee in as you push the right knee away, and then press into your low back, press into the sacrum. So the back of the pelvis, that bone. You're gonna press and bring some lumbar curve back. And again, this is another stretch that's great for the piriformis and the rotators. and then we release. Okay, again, you're grabbing your strap, and now we do the left leg. Take that strap around that left foot, reach. Keep the right leg straight, and you're drawing that leg in. Keep the leg straight. That strap is right there at the front pad of your foot, and you want to drop your toes down. So you're flexing. Keep the leg straight. And again, the reason why we're doing this as opposed to another hamstring stretch is because it helps to take the back out of it. So it's not about your back here, it's about your hamstrings. Keep flexing the foot down towards you. That's going to give you a bigger stretch into the hamstrings. Good, and then from there we release, and you're going to bend the knee, grab that foot on the baby toe side of the foot with the right hand, pull the other knee in, and it's between the ankle and the heel right there. It goes on top of that knee. Then you thread the left hand through the legs, interlace your fingers at the right hamstring, drop your foot. Draw that right knee in as you push the left knee away, and then press into the sacrum and bring your lower lumbar curve back. Good, and then from there, release. Open up your arms to the side and lift your knees up, 90-degree angle, draw your navel in. You're going to drop your legs to the right side and then extend the top leg. So that's your left leg. Drop the toes down, internal rotation. Take your right hand, grab that leg and pull it up a little bit higher. That's going to, again, stretch the outer hip, back of the leg, hamstrings. Keep your head looking to the left. Good, and then release from there, and those legs come up and go to the left side. And you're going to do the same thing. Extend your right leg out, and you're going to use the left hand, grab that leg, and then drop the toes down and the heel up. Look to your right side. Again, big stretch for the outer hip. Good, and then release from there. Awesome. You're going to bring your feet together into what's called Supta Baddha Konasana. So Baddha Konasana is basically cobbler's pose. Your feet come together, your legs open up, and then your arms are going to go above the head. Supta Baddha Konasana. Now, if you do need some assistance, and this is a little too much of a strain for the groin, you can take blocks on either side underneath the knee and the thigh. Good. And then to make it a little bit more fun, we're going to bring the knees in, rotate to the right side, lift up. You're going to take a block right in between the spine and then another block. It's like a T. If you don't have blocks, then use like a bolster or a blanket. And you do want to support the head. So move the one block over. Interlace your fingers right underneath that head. And what this does is
Now we're opening up the groin and the chest and shoulder girdle at the same time. Now, if you're starting to feel that there's pressure here, it just means that your block is a little too far down. You need to push it up. Take it up a little bit higher into the upper back. Okay? And hold. Let gravity help open up through the front of the groin and that chest. Close your eyes even and relax. Good, and then from there, we're slowly coming out of it. You're gonna roll right off your blocks. Good. Take your blocks off to the side. From there, we're going to extend our legs, pull your flesh away. If you're using a blanket, you're gonna come up, lift, and again, we go to the edge. Okay, and then inhale up. And you're using a strap if you don't have as much flexibility, and then reach forward. I want you to keep your spine lifted. Okay, if you have a little more flexibility, then you reach out with your hands. But keep the heart stays lifted. So in other words, I want you to eliminate rounding. That's fine in some instances, but what we're trying to do is drop the chest and get some length in the spine. So you might have to use a strap to do that. And that's fine. Draw your chin in. So do not reach with your chin, reach with your heart. The chin going up, you need to drop it. Okay, that's called Jalhara Bandha, whole nother class. All right, and then from there, slowly coming out of it. All right, and then we go down into a bridge, push up. Keep your knees tracked in line with the front of the hip bone. Good, and then slowly coming out of that. If you do need to do another rotation, go side to side just to kind of help loosen up. And then we're going into Shavasana. So you're going to extend the legs and the arms, palms up in a receiving position, and then cover your eyes with a dark cloth, a washcloth, an eye pillow. And now you're going to relax. So Shavasana is a very important part of yoga, because it allows us to move into relaxation and assimilate and process and integrate to get more out of your practice when you take Shavasana, because you're dropping into a relaxed state. When you are relaxed, your body is open. So you go into Shavasana, you lay down and completely let go. You could do a little body scan, start at the top of the head, and move your awareness from the top of the head all the way down, and notice where you might be holding. So soften in the face and all sides of the head. Okay, and then you want to soften into the shoulders and the arms and the fingers. Let that torso relax so that the breath moves with ease. So you're not trying to control anything. Just let go. Soften your belly. The pelvis, the upper legs, lower legs, and feet. And then you want to feel your body as a whole. So one of the things that you can do is bring your awareness to your skin. Feel your skin. Feel your skin. And see if you can soften your skin.
And what you'll notice is when you bring awareness into the skin, you're not able to identify a particular point in the body. You begin to feel yourself as a whole. It allows you to feel your own presence. And relax. You could take a Shavasana for as long as you need it. If you're doing this practice at night, you want to take a longer Shavasana. If you're doing this practice in the morning, a shorter Shavasana. In the middle of the day, it's moderate. You want to emphasize ease. Holding yourself with ease. Good. And then from there, begin to deepen your breath, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Gently rolling to your right side and take a moment there. And then bringing yourself up into a comfortable seated position. And if you would like to take a longer Shavasana, just continue to lay in Shavasana. Otherwise, you can bring your hands together, thumbs connecting to your heart. Closing your eyes and reconnecting with that body, with that breath, with that stillness. Beginning to create a measure within yourself of the difference between when your body is at ease, when your body is relaxed, or not. Begin to know the difference. Good, and then may you have a wonderful day. Namaste.